You're listening to During the Week with Keith McLoughlin on West Dublin Access Radio 96 FM.
When you're lying in your bed at night alone, are you sorry I'm gone? Not your decision to be made, or you'll pick and choose, and I won't tolerate indecisions you made. Never meant it to come to this, and a better man could have put a stop to it. But I need a better man than the one you're offering. I need a better man than the one you're offering. Oh, now. Sit there handsome, you're so pretty. Can't believe I've fallen for a guy like you. What's a girl to do when you're doubting your affection? Any self-respecting woman walks away. I'd be sorry I stayed. You just might satisfy some girl, but you ain't enough for me. So now I've learned I need a better man than the one you're offering. I need a better man than the one you're offering. Oh, now. I was broken, kiss me better. Say the things that every lover needs to hear. Wipe away those tears. Something's changing and rearranging. I can't seem to see it through. Something's changing and rearranging. I can't see it through because I need a better man than the one you're offering. I need a better man than the one you're offering. I need a better man. I need a better man.
Hello and you're very welcome along to During the Week here on West Dublin Access Radio 96 FM. We're also broadcasting online on WDAR.ie. This, of course, During the Week. It's Wednesday afternoon, just gone 5 minutes past 4. You can tune in online, WDAR.ie. The phone number is 6207139. And you can send us a message online on the live stream as well. That was Rhea Cherniak and Better Man, and she's starting back at the Veloacoustic, which is an acoustic singer-songwriter night, which is happening at the Rutter Cafe on Fade Street. So get down on Friday nights if you're interested in that, or any singers that want to take part in that indeed. Thanks to David Spain before us with Words and Music. Always does some great work here in WDAR. We always have a music guest in studio each and every week on a Wednesday afternoon. We're going to have BoxHed, which is a singer-songwriter known as Lewis Bryan. So we'll be chatting to him and we'll be getting some live tunes over the course of the show. Just some gigs and weather. Firstly, the weather forecast details. Mainly rainy out there today. Temperatures between 4 and 8, dropping back to about 1 to 3 during the night. Just a couple of gigs to mention. Finbar, Fury and Friends on in the National Concert Hall, which is tomorrow. It's 20 to 35 euro. I'm starting back the Brady sessions in Good Dandies and Brady's in Terranure this Friday night. It's on at 9:30. We've got Sealing Kirkard, who is a Norwegian singer who lives locally. We had him on the show before. We have Wayne Gilroy, who was on with us as well, Sarah O'Brien and Laura Elizabeth Hughes, so come down and check that out. Laura and Amy Acton I'm managing, performing again in the Brick Room in Balbriggan on Friday night. That's 7 to 9 o'clock. Also on Saturday, Tudor Cinema Club in the O2, and that's 28 euro. Paul Brady's in the Pavilion Theatre, 34 euro. And Monday night sees Paloma Faith in Vicar Street, 28 euro. Entertainment.ie and Ticketmaster.ie for more listings of gigs and stuff. So we're going to kick into a track here from BoxHed, and this is called Half Stall. Hope you enjoy this one.
It's a rainy night in this city. I've got my keyboard on my back. Just got it from a bouncer who I'm screaming at 'cause he threw me out. And standing there he listens. I've lost too many times of late. I couldn't entertain them even tonight, and they wouldn't entertain me even after the day I had. Well, me and my bourbon, we're gonna own this mall tonight. They can have it back tomorrow when we're suffering, but tonight they'll have to listen to me insulting lack of grace. I cannot live as though in a city that will not hear my call. In other words, I'm going home, and I'm not born with a silver spoon. I've learned to make my own way through. I just know when I'm there, I only wish she was coming too. They can do what they want. Hell, cuff my wrists, 'cause I really do not give a. And I know they let me off with a seat of tame rage, just drowning in the rain. Get my humiliation, I get to say my piece through this fair trade. I can see their pity, the eyes of pity that stared at me warning, the shoulder to cry on, then to throw me out. I cannot live half stalled in a city that will not hear my call. In other words, I'm going home, and I'm not born with a silver spoon. I've learned to make
Welcome back to During the Week here, West Dublin Access Radio 96 FM, and that was Lewis Bryan, known as BoxHed, and that was Half Stalled. You're very welcome along to the show.
Thanks very much, Keith. Thanks for having us.
Coming in, no bother indeed. You're enjoying your last hour or so that you've been here. We've had
this
some
is a ball. This is the best half day out of work I've ever had. This is a great crack.
We were having some great chat in the office, I have to say, with our station manager and with Dave and all that. It's just the banter was unbelievable today. But anyway, tell us, where did you get the name BoxHed from?
The name BoxHed, as ludicrous as it sounds, it actually comes from a notion of a few years ago. I really wanted to play like live somewhere, but I wouldn't have actually done it unless I was going to wear a box over my head. So I came with the notion that I was going to go down Grafton Street one day with my guitar, put a box over my head, and start playing songs. And thankfully that never happened. And but the name kind of stuck, I suppose. I had another name for that logo that I have for BoxHed. Was actually a logo I came up with about in secondary school, and I called them by a different name. But unfortunately, that name has since been used. So I don't know. For want of a better, like a name's a name, and BoxHed that was the name that stuck, and I'll stick with it anyway. It could be anything. It could be water. It doesn't matter. It's BoxHed. It's irrelevant, you know.
Can you tell us when you first started music? You actually probably started music a long time ago, did you?
Yeah, there was my dad was always musical, and there was always a guitar knocking about. There was always a keyboard in the house. I think he bought me a keyboard as a Christmas present when I was about 4 or 5. It was a little red yoke, and he wrote all the notes down with a black pen on the white keys on the keyboard. And it had, I think, 4 fancy effects on it: sustain and vibrato, and then a couple of years later, he got another keyboard into the house. It was a Casio. It was brilliant. I think I had that for 10 years. I think I even took it to college with me, up until the point where I started snapping the keys on it from overuse. So it was time to go off then and get another keyboard, which was a Roland, which was very, very good. But then, and I mean, all the while, like I started, I suppose, the first song I wrote, I think it was about 7 or 8, and it was called, it was something along the lines of, girls go to Mars to get more, no, boys go to Mars to get more bars, and girls go to Jupiter to get more stupider.
Where did that come from?
No, that was it's probably the best lyric I've ever written. I don't know, but then, like I suppose it was about 15 or 16. I started writing more songs at home, and I have a good mate, Jeff, and he actually got my head around what a chord actually was, and how you could play 2 notes and they'd together and they'd actually sound all right. And from there on, I just writing away, and still to this day. So yeah, I suppose it's my hobby.
Great, fantastic stuff indeed. You obviously probably haven't had the chance to play music for a while, but I think when you attended the Songwriter Club, was that something that made you get back into doing music? I
was always doing it, open mics from time to time, and a couple of years ago I was in Australia, and I sort of made the decision in my head that I was just going to do things just a slight, I was just going to do things differently, and this was an opportunity to do music, so I made a good attempt at it over there, and I went busking, and I did a few gigs, and I met a lot of good musicians, and but then I came home from Australia, and you really had to get a job and focus, and the kind of so I got a job, and that sort of fell apart. Well, it didn't fall apart, but the company closed down, and I said, I'll start doing this album that I've wanted to do for ages, and so I started recording the album, and it took about a year to do, and it was probably all ready to go just over a year ago, and by this time, I needed to get a decent job, and I was lucky enough to get a decent job and work with very nice people, and so I knew I'd come back to the point where I'd try and release the album, and I suppose this Christmas was a good opportunity to launch it over the Christmas period, and and put it out, put it on USB sticks, and put it out there, and do more gigs and stuff, and I'm just having a ball at the moment, just enjoying every part of it. So
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a new way of doing stuff now, is actually putting an album on a USB rather than a CD?
I don't know, Keith. From my own point of view, it's certainly not cheaper. Like, it is cheaper to burn, to get a company to burn CDs. Maybe, if you ordered a big quantity of USB sticks, it might make more economical sense. But from my own point of view, it's very easy to put the music onto USB sticks, to copy them, to sell people a USB stick and say, look, there's a USB stick, there's my songs in it, and there's a whole load of space for your own stuff. Or if you don't like my songs, you can delete them off it, and you've even more space. And at the end of the day, when somebody walks into HMV, well, maybe not today, but when somebody goes into a record shop and buys a CD, one of the first things they probably do with it is to burn it, and not to burn it, but to rip it and to turn it into MP3s. So, and put it on a computer somewhere. So I suppose I'm just cutting out the process of people having to burn or having to rip the CD and turn them into
Especially
MP3s.
for your iPods and your MP3s, that you're having to put these.
Well, that's it. I mean, they're going straight onto iPods and MP3s.
And it's in your headphones then for the day then.
And it's in your headphones, for it, and I mean, and you can always reverse the process and burn a CD if you want. You can turn an MP3 into a CD. So for me, it just kind of made sense, and that's sort of it, I thought it was a bit novel as well, but anyway.
Cool. So you did the Ivy sessions then over the Christmas then to launch the album?
I did, yeah. It's funny, so the really decent bunch of lads that run it, the Ivy sessions, which is once a month in the Ivy House in Drumcondra, and they're just is really good. It's kind of an intimate singer-songwriter acoustic night. Always kind of gets a good crowd. They're very easy to work with, very professional sound. And it was a year ago, Donald, one of the lads who runs it, said to me, he goes, "Oh, you're doing an album, why don't you launch it here?" I said, "Oh yeah, sure, if I ever get around to launch the album, I'll do it here, And then sure, it was coming up to Christmas there, and I said it to the lads. I said, he's doing one over Christmas. He said, we're doing one the day before New Year's. Sure, you launch your album that night, and just went ahead and did it, and it was a good night, and a good few mates turned up and sold a few albums. It was good.
Good stuff. I think we'll get you to do a song now. What do you think?
Yeah, all right. Well, we'll give it a go. Yeah, this song is I think it's the fourth song on the album, and it's called "She Was." She's taken 2 out of 3 of the hearts tonight, and the other lads just playing hard. They can dream, they can hold her, they can take her then. When they awake, the dreams take her away. So hold your head up, boy, you can wonder where it went wrong, and kick yourself for what you did, or wish the things you'd done. Flight of fancy, or the one, well, you never may know. At least you got to share that dream, but it's better now if you let it go. She was perfection. She was beauty incarnate. But it's not just this dream that you bought into. She's the notion in every man's head. She does nothing but they sniff away the heartache. time do what it does so well. May the sea have and all that, and may you love another, a lady which you'll actually hold.
Good stuff. BoxHed and She Was. So what, is there a story behind that song?
There is a story behind all my songs, all songs, but yeah, I suppose the funny side to the story is, you know, sometimes you have, you know, you say three lads sitting in a pub, and they all have their kind of eye on the one bird, and she could be a friend or she could be a stranger who just walked in, but she's stunning. She takes kind of all their hearts away, and you know, it's kind of, you know, they all, I suppose, you know, in the head, for all of them, she's the one, you know, because she say that's stunning or she's that nice of a person. But as simple maths will tell you that, you know, three into one won't go. So only one of them's going to be a winner at best. So I suppose that's it. It's about kind of telling the bloke to kind of, you know, move on from the concept that she's the one in his head, to kind of going, well, she mightn't be, and you know, maybe if you
She
look
might
at,
just be a friend in the end.
she might just be a friend in the end at best, even, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, at the end of the day, just move on. Life's too short.
Exactly, yeah. Tell us, how do you go about actually writing songs? Do you write the lyrics first, the music first, or is there...
Generally, yeah. Generally, I think it's always been writing the words first, because the thoughts or the feeling or that's in your head or your heart says that, you know, you can get that out pretty easily on paper, you know. And then I suppose it's I find it very easy then to put music to that, or to sit around the keyboard for and stumble upon something that kind of, you know, this is telling the story, or this is the way I want the story to be told. I think over the last year or two, I think it's probably changing. I'm more trying to do it the other way. I know Billy Joel always wrote his songs actually the other way around, which was he writes the music first, and then he sits down and puts the words to it, you know. And for me, it never came that easy to me to do it that way. It's easy, I find it. But over the last year, I think I've been doing it the other way. I've just been coming up with music and sort of putting words to it, you know. And I don't know, I think the music actually probably could be sounding better, you know. But I think lyrically I'm sort of letting myself down as well, you know. So it's fun, you know. I find the whole process very fun, and you know, so that's really kind of answering your question, and not in many ways, you know.
There's a lot of hard work to it, isn't there? And there's a lot of focus to try and get it.
I don't think there's any hard work to it at all, Keith. I think it's complete joy. I really do, you know. I find it the easiest thing I do, you know. Maybe you could tell it by the songs that mightn't be very deep, but I find it comes to me. It just comes to me pretty easily, you know. Jeez, I hope that doesn't sound arrogant. But
well, don't be like that.
I haven't written Bohemian Rhapsody, so I couldn't be saying I couldn't be arrogant. But no, I find it just not easy, just enjoyable to do anyway. Did you know, actually, Keith? Right? You know, Uptown Girl.
Yeah.
That was he wrote that as a piano piece. And obviously the producer turned around to him and said, "Right, that has to be a song."
Yeah.
And he goes, "No, it's grand. It's a lovely piano piece." And he goes, "No, you need words for it." And that turned out to be Uptown Girl, you know.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It is. It's kind of strange, you know. But,
funny, all right. Just on terms of your style, is it kind of a folk kind of style that you're looking at, or?
I don't.
It's very hard to get your description of what genre of music you're doing, is it?
Yeah, I don't. To be honest, Keith, I don't know. Like, I sit down and I write a song, and I don't. And like the album, there's no. I don't think there's any style on it. As such, you know, it's. Yeah, I wouldn't say. I wouldn't say it's any specific style. The closest thing I could think of is mopey ballads.
Mopey ballads,
you know. But there again, like you know, the notion of being tied into a style or being labelled a style as well, that's for for people to decide or label bands with. But I love the notion of the likes of Queen, that they wrote Bohemian Rhapsody, they wrote I Want to Break Free. Freddie Mercury then goes off and does Barcelona with some operatic singer, and the notion that a band should be or is tied to a certain sound or style.
They should be able to change and do
I
whatever
think
they want.
But I think for the listener, I think it's more interesting, Keith. You kind of go, oh, well, there's nice ballads in that one.
Yeah.
Geez, there's a dance track in that, and if you ask anybody their choice of music, everybody tells you nowadays everything. People listen to everything. They
do listen to everything. They're much more aware, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely, and I think the days where people would just stick to the one style of music, and not listen, it's well gone,
Yeah.
Our parents grew up in the 60s, and
they
have the best music.
Yeah.
We'll never be able to outdo them.
Yeah.
So all we can do is kind of listen to everything,
Yeah, and hope for the best.
And hope for the best, yeah.
Totally, yeah. But it's it's kind of funny because we were talking about reality TV shows, and the days are kind of gone. There's The Voice of Ireland and all this stuff now.
Yeah.
It's very strange now the way I think on those shows they want you're a pop artist, and that's all they ever think.
Yeah.
That's all they think about is pop artists, and you're going to be selling records. But the industry's not about that at all. There's a whole lot more to just selling records, isn't it?
Yeah. It is funny in especially in the music industry now. Of all time, kind of needs to kind of dig itself out of a hole that the likes of the X Factors and the X Factors and The Voice and stuff, that they're literally just looking for a pop artist, and it's sort of not, because people's musical tastes have moved on, and they don't really just want another wishy-washy pop artist thrown in, because people are smarter than that, They like more than that, And there again, you look at some of the judges, and you're kind of wondering, well, how are they a judge on music,
Yeah, they just say that, well, you sold 40 million records, so now you're a judge, isn't that kind of...
It's kind of it, and you're sort of wondering, well, I trust Gary Barlow when he's talking about boy bands, or Louis Walsh about boy bands, but, you throw a rock singer in front of him, I wouldn't trust them in their hands. What are they going to do with a rock singer, or an R&B, or a rap singer, or whatever, it's funny.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? And it's amazing as well, then, because even like Louis Walsh, I looked up records about Louis Walsh, and he doesn't seem to be able to manage girl bands that well. He'd only last max 2 years, whereas boy bands you can get 10 or more years out of them. So I don't know what the difference between managing boys and managing girls, and I'm doing it myself. I'm managing boys and girls, and I'm trying to go, what's the difference? I mean, it's same principles, isn't it? You would think.
Yeah.
I'm presume, like, when you're doing the music, like, you manage yourself then, so you have to figure out what you want to do and how to plan forward, isn't that the key thing?
To be honest, Keith, I don't really plan it. I sit down and write a song, I do gigs, and record it and put out the album, and I don't try and be contrived or you don't think about it too much. Don't plan it, just enjoy it, because the whole thing it's a good laugh. I have to say.
And even as you're saying with the album, things just fall into place, don't they, a little bit?
They do, you put it out there, and I don't have any expectations I'm going to be the next big thing. I want to be, I suppose, established as a songwriter, at some point, and that's sort of it, because I'll be constantly, I'll continue writing songs regardless of anything, and
Right, we're going to take a quick break at the programme. Coming up in the second half, we'll be chatting more with Lewis, and we'll also have, just coming up in a minute, the track from Corina J, and we're going to be playing that as well. So do stay with us here on West Dublin Access Radio 96 FM.
Become a volunteer with West Dublin Access Radio. West Dublin Access Radio is now seeking volunteers to perform a variety of roles, including presenting, producing, researching, and sound desk operations. No prior experience is required, as you will receive full training on the job. We're also very interested in hearing from anyone who has previous experience in presenting and would like an opportunity to do it again. If you're interested in getting involved, phone Barbara at 01620-7139. You can also email us at volunteer@wdar.ie. wdar.ie, outlining the area that you're interested in. If you're interested in presenting your own program, you should include the program proposal form, which you can download from our website, www.wdar.ie. It's life in West Dublin. Your community radio station, West Dublin Access Radio 96 FM, and online 24/7 at wdar.ie.
Community radio in the Republic of Ireland has a collective weekly reach of in excess of 300,000 people. 60% of those surveyed highly rate the value of community radio. 37% of people stated that their reason for listening to community radio was that it featured local voices, local people. Source Red Sea Poll, Community Radio Audience Research 2012.
Watch and listen. West Dublin Access Radio on the web.
With streaming sound and vision, www.wdar.ie, broadcasting to West Dubliners
all over the world.
The negative, I never fell down so far until you got me a positive reaction. When I see where you are, a sweet distraction. A day and night, a black and white, a wrong and right. I never felt so bizarre. And I know it sounds crazy, I only met you, but I wanna go into a dark room. Let's go into a dark room. I wanna get to know ya. I'm looking for some real exposure. So come in, baby, moving closer, closer, closer in a dark room. Baby, you can make it better. I want something that can last forever. Let's go into a dark room. Baby, you know I got my eye on you. Let's go into a dark room. Baby, you know I got my eye on you. Let's go into a dark room.
Welcome back to the second half during the week here on West Dublin Access Radio 96 FM. We're broadcasting in the Civic Centre on the Ballyfermot Road. That was Corrina J with dark realm. If you're just joining us, we're also on WDAR.ie as well. You can send us messages into the live stream as well if you have anything you'd like to ask. We have Lewis Bryan in with us, who is a singer-songwriter going under the name of BoxHed. And I wanted to mention about the Songwriter Club. The next meeting takes place on Saturday the 26th of January. It's on from 2 to 5 in the Teachers Club on Parnell Square West. It's run by myself and singer-songwriter Sinead McNally. And we're getting really good support with it now, I think. So I think we're going to enjoy the next meeting. We've got the Managing Director of Universal Music Ireland. We have Mark Crosingham. And we also have another lady, Talma Clark, who runs Music Medium Live, and she runs a set of gigs in Sweeney's and in various places in town. So we're trying to get people to get involved and get them gigs as well, I think, which is kind of a big thing. Lewis also comes along to some of our meetings as well.
Keith?
Yeah. So obviously the Songwriter Club has obviously helped you.
Oh, it has. Met yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, yeah, it was. I kind of two choices one Saturday afternoon to go along to this singer-songwriter meeting that I'd seen on Facebook, or to go over to my parents for dinner, and I had a bit of head in me from the night before. So, but I decided, sure, I'll try this thing anyway, and I went up, and I have to say it was great. We were sitting in a room with other songwriters, people from the radio like yourself. There was a guy from RTE who we ended up going drinking with, which was a good laugh, and it was good because a lot of songwriters are sort of in the same boat. That they all kind of write songs and they do open mics, but they don't really know the next step, or not even the next step of what else can you do and where else. And I suppose it's, for want of a better word, it's about meeting people and getting on local radio with your songs and it's just, to be honest, it was a good place to hang out on a Saturday afternoon, and it was a good crack, like.
Yeah, and it's good to tell other people about it as well. I think it
is absolutely.
It gets you out of being stuck in a rut, does it? Kind of.
I think it does. I think there's a lot. I think Irish people are very musical, and there's a lot of songwriters and a lot of people who write songs, and they wouldn't even know where to go for say an open mic, or they've never even heard of an open mic, say, and say they do open mics and but they don't know where to record or what gear to record with, or even where to sell stuff, or even some of the, which wouldn't probably be at my level, but some of the trappings of licensing music and copywriting and all that stuff. Organisations like IMRO and RAP, stuff like that, which I haven't heard of, well, I've heard of, but you wouldn't know.
You just don't know what they do, isn't it?
You just don't know really what they do, and you probably wouldn't be bothered with it unless you find out. They actually look after artists, and they pay artists, and they're protecting you, and they're actually free to join and stuff like that, and so it was just a lot of information. It's well worth doing for any songwriter,
So definitely big help. Yeah, the IMRO and rap is fascinating, and it's just great to tell people that these things are there for people, and if you get your songs on radio, you get to play gigs that you might be entitled to something at the end of the year, which is really good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So super stuff indeed. Have you any in terms of your own music? Are you looking into any future gigs that you're going to try and play over the next while?
I'm taking it sort of as it comes. The big one was the album launch in the Ivy Sessions, and. From there on in, no, I'm just gonna take it by ear, and I take it as it comes. Like some nights, I can. I'm lucky that I live in the city centre. I can just pop down to one of the open mics, the Apollo Sessions on a Sunday, go down there, and just take it as just take it as it comes. And I don't want the whole thing to be I want the whole thing to remain fun and a joy and not a chore, and play when I want to play, and.
Do you find if you're watching some people look like as if they shouldn't be playing, or do they have a face that makes them kind of go, this is very difficult, or it's a chore?
I think some people are very driven to constantly be pushing it, and onto the next thing, and I think if anything, the whole thing is going to be a game of patience, and you know, I'm doing it as a hobby. I know this very much solidly in my head, and so I have no expectations. For people, shouldn't be doing it. Yeah, you do come across lads who've, you know, and you've met them a couple of times, and they're very driven, and you know, and they were doing this and doing that, and then you talk to them a few months later or a year later, and they've given up. You know, they've made their push for wherever they wanted to get with it, and it hasn't happened, and they have a pain in there with it. So, yeah, I mean, from that point, I suppose people could burn themselves out of enthusiasm pretty easily. You know.
There is such a thing as playing too many gigs and the expectation then doesn't happen, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. But I from my own point of view, like, you know, I think I'm doing it for the right reasons, and I don't have any expectations really. So, and I enjoy it, and I enjoy going out and meeting, and seeing other singers, songwriters, and bands and stuff, and the whole thing's just a pleasure, you know.
Very good. Well, we get you to do another song now. Tell us what you're going to do for us.
This is a slow one with a sort of a fancy patch, with a fancy sound effect on it. It's called Verse. Choices she treads through, sends ripples, breaking waters of doubt. She sends shivers. She would only speak to me in verse. Speak to me with 3 words. Should this be the road she choose, then please don't look back and rue. Let life lead you through, and make your decisions for you. Whoa. Cushion-laid dreams, softly spoken words caressing ears. She lightly stands with sandy footsteps of resistance. She would only speak to me in verse. She would only speak to me with 3 words. Should this be the road she choose, then please don't look back and rue. Let life lead you through, and make your decisions for you. Whoa. Should this be break and rule, let life lead you through, and make your decisions for you.
Oh, the effects are just brilliant in that, I have to say.
Thanks, Keith. You're very kind.
Good stuff from Lewis Bryan there, and that was Verse. Is that another one
Verse.
of those women type songs? Isn't it?
No, it was funny. It's actually not. I think there's a woman involved in it. All right, she knows who she is, but it was more about I suppose embracing life a bit, you know, and letting life kind of make your choice for you, and I suppose reading the signs in life, and you know, sometimes you need to maybe take a step in a different direction, and you know, read those signs and take those hints and do it, and hopefully things will be all right, you know.
Good. Can you tell us, apart from music and then obviously with the job, have you got hobbies that you like to do?
Football.
Football, yeah.
Football more or less, yeah.
And is that just watching it, or would you play it too?
Football, five-a-side. I'm off to play five-a-side this evening with the lads. We've been playing for about, God knows, probably about 12 years over in Coolock. Five-a-side. Yeah, I suppose, yeah. Football and music, that's really the two things. Man United, following the Irish football team wherever they go, including Poland, to break our hearts. And I swore, when I went to Poland like for the Euros, and when I came back, Keith, I was like, I'm over it. Like, I've done it. I've done the Irish football thing, and it was too much. Like, I was depressed for a week. Even my boss said it to me this morning as a joke. He said, but funnily enough, come the first friendly back in the Aviva in August, there I was paying my €35 in to see, and then the Germany match comes, and you know, there I am again paying my 35 or 45 euro, whatever it was, euro, watching. So I'm still suffering following the Irish football team, but them and Man United, I suppose, are my two other joys, you know.
And now we got matches in March with the friendly in Poland, and then away in Sweden and Austria. We're kind of thinking to ourselves, do we really want to go through all this again?
It's mad, isn't it? Would you've kept on Trapattoni, Keith, if you'd?
I don't think I would. Sorry.
I think the time to get rid of him would have been straight after the Euros. Now they couldn't afford to do it, so they gave him a chance. And then 3 matches in, they look all right. The Germany match was very bad.
But even playing the Faroes and other teams, they
nothing convincing, is there?
No, you're kind of like you watch 60 minutes of it and you go, ooh, they have a chance, the opposition, of getting a point or something.
The mighty Faroe Islands.
I know.
Yeah.
And I think they would have got a point out of us only the fact that they played Sweden 4 days earlier and they were a little bit tired because they're part-timers. But I think if they were fully fit, I think they would have.
Yeah,
would have done something.
No, absolutely, yeah.
You know, and that's just the fear, isn't it?
It's such is the joy of following it, but I can't give it up though. You know,
no.
I know, like a lot of mates, and so you're probably the same. Like a lot of mates don't watch the games anymore. You know,
no,
don't go to the games or whatever. But you know, for some reason,
it's kind of like until the Trap era is over, we're not supporting.
Yeah, basically.
Isn't that what people kind of think?
Yeah, but there, I think that the problems with football in Ireland goes beyond the national team.
It starts from domestic right up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There's no income going in there.
No.
There's no support.
We don't, you know. And after, you know, everyone's talking about we should be playing, like we should be more adopting this philosophy and that philosophy. We don't actually have a philosophy, a football and philosophy in Ireland. You know, it's not like the, you know, it's closest to the English game. But it's not like the, you know. So
let's play Gaelic football.
So maybe that's it. Maybe we should start picking up the ball and running with it. You know.
There's no other tricks to it, is there?
No. Do you play yourself, Keith?
Yeah, I play soccer myself. Yeah, I do the 5-a-side as well.
Really good.
So I do enjoy that. And it's a good way to keep fit as well, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
You know,
yeah.
It's good crack.
Yeah.
There's always one or two people get a bit big-headed about it, don't they? Do you have anybody that gets big-headed about it?
Yeah, there's always lads who when the pass is on, you know, or they take a shot, they'll take a shot.
Yeah.
You know? But what position would you be now, Keith?
I don't know, when I was playing at school, I was kind of all being a defender, and then I went to goal, and then I kind of went forward, so I kind of play everywhere now.
An all-rounder.
Yeah. What about yourself?
I suppose I'd be a rightful.
Yeah.
A rightful, just hiding out at the back somewhere, having to come out every so often and tidy up a bit.
Tidy up, yeah.
Hiding out and trying to get away with it.
Good point. Apart from the football there, what music do you like to listen to? And you probably like to listen to everything, do you?
Exactly. Same as everyone else, you know. I suppose the real stick-out artists in my head are The Verve and Billy Joel, and I suppose Oasis. Apart from that, you know, everybody else, you know.
Yeah, I've been listening to The Verve a little bit with the Bittersweet Symphony and Lucky Man. And
it's like, I remember it was about 1 o'clock in the morning. I was living in Rush at the time, and I was sitting there with my mum, and we were watching telly, and he came on with the Verve came on with Bittersweet Symphony, that video, and it just blew my mind. I was like, you know, here's a grumpy bloke walking down the street, feeling really sorry for himself, and it has this brilliant orchestra piece, which obviously we've heard all about since, you know. But you know, and I just thought it was brilliant. It was just a 3-minute perfect piece of art, you know, and you know, and it kind of, you know, it was brilliant. It was brilliant to see, you know.
I must ask about Oasis. What did you think of the closing ceremony of the Olympic Games when he came out and it was Beady Eye before Wonderwall? Everyone was looking, what the hell is Beady Eye?
It's funny actually. You should look it up on YouTube. Noel Gallagher's talked about it since, like, you know, and I think Noel Gallagher just got a pain in his got a pain with it, because they've been on to him for fucking ages about it. Will you do it? Will you do it? Will you do it? Will you do it? But you can't do. We can't tell you what to do, you know, and all this. And I think they asked him a week beforehand. He said, I couldn't be bothered. This has been going on for like 6 months, you know. So he let the boys at it, you know. And I suppose from Liam's point of view, he's probably disappointed that it's not a Beady Eye song that, you know, that was being played at the closing ceremony, you know. But look, they were a great band. The two of them worked. Oasis wouldn't have been Oasis without Noel or Liam, you know. Liam sold the package of those songs so well, you know, and they're brilliant songs. He's a brilliant frontman as well, you know.
That was some era in the 90s when people there was this, you have to like Oasis or Blur, but you couldn't like both. Yeah. Well, I never really got the whole idea behind that.
It was you know, it was a perfect marketing stunt, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was a perfect marketing stunt, because it got people buying records, and you know, getting people dressing differently. People were either dressing like Blur or Oasis, you know. And it was funny, and then, you know, they had the whole northern southern England thing as well, you know. We're the rough lads from Manchester, and we're the arty guys from London, you know. And it worked very well, you know. You know, sure, last I heard, Noel and Damien have shook hands and shared a drink and had a good laugh about it, you know. So yeah, it was a brilliant period.
Right, we need to do something like that now for ourselves, don't we?
That's right, yeah. Cash is king, and Laurie and Amy. You have to dress them differently.
Yeah. A marketing tactic that I've been given from a music manager. I wasn't supposed to plug that on air, but it's good fun. But even for yourself and other singers and bands that come into the studio, we need to get something going for everyone, don't we?
The whole thing's just a joy, like, you know.
It is just a joy.
Take it seriously, you know? I have no illusions about selling stuff, you know. I'd like Rage Record Shop in on Fade Street beside Rucker Cafe in the Market Bar there. They actually have the album.
And people should check that out, because they'll be able to...
€7. It's a USB stick. You know, if they don't like the songs, they could delete them off it. There's still a whole load of space on it there for their own stuff. And it'll be on,
And what links does BoxHed on Facebook or stuff?
Yeah, there's BoxHed's music on Facebook and BoxHed's music on YouTube. And it's BoxHed without the A in the head.
Oh yeah,
that'll make sense.
Yeah, it will. BoxHed. Yeah. Well, we're just about running out of time because we've chatted so long, but we'll play the third song on the USB, which is called Forget. Lewis, thanks for coming in.
Brilliant, Keith. Thanks for having us.
No bother indeed. And I'm sure we'll get to chat to you at the Songwriter Club, so it should
Absolutely.
be good fun. And thanks very much for listening. We will, of course, be back with you next week for another session. Michael O'Connor's coming up next, so do stay tuned here on WDAR 96 FM. We'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.